expect such a big crowd, I'll tell you that much. Rabbonim, teachers, family, friends, and my other half, Avi. Shechiyano, Vikiyamano, Vigiyano, Rizman Hazeh. I want to share with you a little story. There was once a man who had a dream. His dream was to become a world-class short-track champion skater. His name was Steven. He wasn't the best skater, even with practice, but with a bit of muzzle and a lot of persistence and perseverance, he made it through to the 2002 finals at the Winter Olympics. He was nervous and excited, and really not all that hopeful after the trials, but figured he'd give it his best shot. Seeing the world-class skaters dressed in their sleek, black, fast suits beside him, he didn't really give himself much of a chance. The gun went off. The race started. The competitors were going round and around, and all of a sudden one fell, two fell, another and another. And all of a sudden, before you knew it, from the back glided Steve. He crossed the finish line and won the gold. He persevered, he gave it his all, he was the last man standing. He was thrilled, overwhelmed and grateful. In his post-win victory interview, he was quoted as saying, "I don't think I'll take the medal as the minute and a half of the race I actually won. I'll take it as the last decade of the hard slog I put in." I am the Stephen Bradbury of the original class that began on the skating track with me. Some stayed down, others skipped. Some left, following their passions. Some went to other schools. Some went on to various yeshivas around the world. Some to vocational schools, apprenticeships, TAFE, and a few went to various rehab programs. I stuck it out. I finished the track, and tonight I graduate. As I stand here, having completed 13 long, tedious, hard years of labor of school, I am filled with so many different emotions. I am overjoyed to be finished having sat my last exam yesterday at Beth Rivka. Would have been really great to have sat all 13 years there. Maybe then more would have stayed. I am overwhelmed at the sense of achievement I feel today, having been the last remaining boy from our prep year in '99 to graduate Yeshiva College. I am very grateful for the support and one-on-one attention I have received from my teachers, albeit they would have no choice or they would have literally been talking to the walls. In particular, Mrs. Gill, Rabbi Barber, Mrs. Hogger Scott, Miss Webb, Mr. White, Mrs. Samsuri, Mrs. Reddy, Rabbi Kraz, and of course, Rabbi Smuckler. Thank you for all you have done for me. To all the other teachers and staff who helped me along the way, thank you for your support, encouragement, and smiles in the hallways and yard. I say hallways and yard because I was more likely to see them there than in the classrooms. I'm thankful to my fellow classmate Avi for his friendship. Avi is incredibly conscientious and has great aspirations for himself. He's a high achiever and an accomplished student, and an all-around good person. I was very lucky to have him as my co-classmate for Year 12. You always say you want to fulfill your potential. I have no doubt you will. I wish you the very best for the future. I'm thankful to the Year 11s for sticking around and being there for me. I wish you, as Borat says, great success for 2012. Actually said it. I'll truly miss you guys. I'm appreciative to my family for their constant encouragement and belief in me. And on a sad note, I am disappointed that the 30 boys that began this journey with me are not standing here beside me tonight. At the beginning of the year, we went to have our jumpers made. There were no shortage of jokes. Size doesn't matter. When there were 5 students, the famous 5. When there were 4, the fantastic 4. And the 3 musketeers when there were 3. But then there were two. Batman and Robin. The Odd Couple. Ernie and Bert. Men in Black. Quality over quantity. BC, who cares? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But don't worry, we drew the line at Brokeback Mountain. Sorry. Tonight ends a chapter of my life. It closes the book. It completes the road traveled. And although the run has been tough going, I'm beaming with pride. Before I give a Devar Torah, I want to make mention of one person who has been there for me through thick and thin, in my corner every step of the way. That person had to drag me out of bed in the mornings for Minyan. The person that not only made my school lunches long after other boys stopped bringing them, but made sure there was always enough for my friends. Who came to every sitter party, play, sports days and performances, every parent-teacher interview, sorry for those, orientations and SIUMs. The one who took calls from teachers and principals almost daily through the long, hard years. The one who sat in many of the offices in these buildings fighting for my best interests. The one who took me out for lunch when I was suspended. Who was class mother when there were still other mothers to pick from. And who bought the teachers presents even when I didn't like them. My mum. I couldn't have done it without you. My certificate should really say, Ari Werdiger, last man standing from the original class in '99, and have a hyphen and say, Adira Werdiger, survivor of parenting Ari, a student at Yeshivah College. Thank you. Oh, and Dad too. My dad always helped me with my homework when I did it, and took me for encouragement breakfasts, and supported my potential sporting career when it didn't seem like I was going to end up with an academic one. I love you both very dearly. I was looking for a message to share, so like any cool student in 2011, I googled famous speeches, and came up with a few memorable ones. I then watched Steve Jobs' speech on YouTube at Stanford, but knowing I was speaking in front of my teachers, I knew I couldn't plagiarize. In the end, I went with the most trusted source of every good speech, the Parsha. In this week's Parsha, Chayei Sarah, we discuss Avram in his later years. As it says, Avram zaken boy bayomim v'Hashem berach es Avram b'kol. And Avram was old, advanced in his days, and Hashem blessed Avram with everything. Avram was old, and he lived his life by entering into his days. He didn't transition from one stage of his life to the next, leaving each episode behind. He began the next day and took something from each day. It says Avram was not just old, he was wise and mature. Each day of his life, he felt he'd achieved his potential. Each of his adventures in his life made an indelible impression on him, molding him a bit more into the person he became. From this we see, if Hashem truly prepares the path of man, and if he's guiding us on our own premeditated, individualized life's journey, then it becomes worthwhile to step inside and be a part of it. The challenge is when life seems monotonous, regular, and boring. We are often only too happy to forget about each experience as they pass. But the real message of Avram's life is to embrace all our experiences and look at the value in each and everything that you do. It is being able to accept the challenge that we are faced with and take it all in our stride and wake up every morning and say, how can I embrace today? What meaning will I find in my life today? My message to my fellow students at Yeshivah College is not to shy away from challenges or hardships, but embrace them like Avram Avinu embraced his life. When things seem glum and down, look at the bright side and stay focused. When you feel like you're the only one in the class, and sometimes you are, maximize the attention and thrive. Always remain open in mind, heart, body and soul, for learning never ends. They say that every person you come into contact with in your life influences you, some for the good and some for the not so good. Take all the good that Yeshivah has to offer and be influenced by those around you in a positive light. My last remaining advice I would give to you, if there are ever just two boys graduating in your class, go hire some others for the school photos. Ours is a shocker. like to thank my teachers for putting up with me throughout the year and for your devotion and attention to all my academic needs. Mrs. Gill, Avi and I truly appreciate the effort you put in to helping us succeed. And to all the greenies out there, too bad I used all those trees for math exams. Miss Webb, your classes were truly enjoyable. Thank you for giving me my Betrifka education. No other words needed. Mrs. Hogarth Scott, thank you for everything. Our classes were really enjoyable. Wishing you all the best for the coming year. But she can't be here today, so. Mrs. Rosen, you were there from the beginning. I'm sure you're really proud tonight to see me finally finish. Rabbi Barber, thank you for the last 2 years in Chumash. See, it paid off. I used it in my speech. Mr. Phillips, thank you for all the effort you put in behind the scenes. Wishing you all the best. Rabbi Schmuckler, I'm sorry you weren't here from the beginning of my Yeshivah education. You have been a wonderful mentor to me and support to me since your arrival. I couldn't have done this here without you. Good luck with year 11. You're going to need it. Thank you. Have a good night.